Hi everyone, welcome to today's full body Yogalates flow. This yoga and Pilates fusion class is predominantly standing, and we will be using 2 blocks to support us throughout this practice. When you're ready, afford yourself a moment to get comfortable. Come into Tadasana. Feet are hip-width distance apart, broaden across the heart space. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Interlace the left fingers around the right wrist, bending over to the left, feeling a beautiful side body stretch. Inhale, center, and take this stretch on the other side. Doing your best to keep the hips squared, broaden across the heart space. Inhale, center, and this time joining the feet together, raise the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers together and bend over to the left, engaging the obliques. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend to the right, if possible, keeping the arms straight and doing your best to create space between the earlobes and the shoulders. Return to center. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Raise the arms to shoulder height. Keeping the arms elevated, we will raise and lower the arms a few centimeters, feeling your wingspan growing wider, feeling as though your fingertips are being stretched in opposite directions, beginning to warm up the shoulders, building heat in the upper body, softening the muscles of the face. Noticing the breath. And beginning to guide your breath to any regions of the body where you are feeling sensation. A few more lifts. And this time, palms facing forwards, we'll begin to move the arms forwards and backwards, keeping the arms in line with shoulder height. Flipping the grip once more, palms facing backwards, tops of the hands facing forwards, same movement as before. Breathe. A few more pulses and we'll begin to create circles, moving the arms forwards. Nice and controlled movements, stay present, really feeling the articulation of each movement. A few more circles in this direction and swapping the direction. This is a beautiful way to wake up the body, particularly if you spend a large portion of the day at a desk. You can practice this anywhere, anytime. Last few circles. Keep the arms up and hold, static lift. Gently release. Well done. Inhale, arms skywards. Exhale, palms to heart center, and again. And from here, we will come into chair pose. So, feet are hip-width distance apart, sink the hips back. Inhale, raise, squeeze the glutes. And again, when you lower down, raising the arms overhead. Keeping a neutral spine here, core is engaged, finding length along the back of the neck. I'm really only going as far down as you can while still being able to maintain activation in the glutes and the inner and outer thighs. Keep going. A few more chair lifts. Last one, well done. And from here we will grab both of our blocks, placing one between the thighs. Feet are about hip width distance apart. And we're going to hold the other block between our palms and again come into chair pose. So really turning on the inner thighs here. Exhale, sink the hips back, raise the arms. Inhale, extend the legs, lower the arms. Just like this. Having the block between the palms is going to help guide your awareness to the upper body in this lower body dominant exercise. On this next chair squat, we'll stay down and pulse. Small pulses. The use of blocks can really help us reconnect with our breath, mind, body awareness, particularly great for the adductors and the inner thighs, which are a relatively secondary group of muscles compared to the more larger and dominant quadriceps and hamstrings. So this is a beautiful foundational exercise to come back to as often as you like. A few more pulses. Stay down and hold. Breathe. Draw that navel to the spine. Stay strong. One more breath. Inhale, raise the legs, well done. Placing the blocks to the side for a moment, we'll come to face the long edge of the mat. And from here, we'll set up for a Shiva Squat, which is quite similar to a curtsy lunge. Sink the hips back, pulse for 2, raise, cross the right leg back behind the left, back to center, 2 pulses in chair pose, and again. Transitioning between these movements, staying high on the ball of the back foot when you step back. Really turning on the outer hips and the glutes here. This is a great posture to improve stability, inner trust and courage. From here, we will step back into a Shiva Squat and pulse. Ever so slightly raising and lowering that knee just above the ground, finding length through the vertebral column, relaxing the shoulders. A few more pulses, and inhale, step up to Tadasana. Great job. One breath here. Chair pose, 2 pulses, and Shiva Squat on the other side. 2 pulses in chair pose and sinking the hips back in a Shiva Squat or curtsy lunge. Moving with intention. Steady breath, steady focus. On this next round, stepping into a Shiva Squat, staying low and pulsing. Guide the breath to the regions where you are feeling sensation. Final pulse and step up to Tadasana. Well done, friends. Reconnect with the breath. From here, either placing the palms together or resting one forearm atop of the other, grounding down through the left leg, extending the right leg out, we'll begin to raise and lower that right leg. Keeping both hips squared. This is a really great way to strengthen the glute medius of the stabilizing leg. keeping a micro bend in the stabilizing leg, and knowing that it's okay to tap the big toe of the right foot down and raise the leg back up, or if you want a full challenge, keeping that leg elevated. Pausing for a moment at the top to engage the muscles and lowering with control. And this time keeping the leg up and pulse, foot is flexed. Breathe. Last few pulses, keep the leg up and hold. And release. We'll get set up to take this on the other side, finding the hand posture that works for you, grounding down through the right leg, and beginning to raise and lower that left leg out to the side. If this posture proves a little challenging, you can always practice it holding onto the back of a chair or next to a wall for support. Really lean into your own energy levels and your experience for today. Keep the leg up and pulse. Foot is flexed. How high can you lift that leg while staying in control, being stable? Hold, breathe, and release. Well done. Finding any movement that feels good, maybe swaying out the hips from side to side. And when you're ready, we will find the same hand gesture, bending the right knee, stepping the left leg back, hinging the torso forward slightly, and we'll begin to lift and lower that left leg, keeping the leg straight, using the gluteus maximus and the hamstrings here to lift that leg. You have the option to tap the big toes down or keep the leg elevated. Finding your stability. For an added challenge, you might like to close the eyes. Keep the leg up and pulse. How high can you lift that leg? 2 more pulses. And release. Well done. Prepare for the other side. Rounding down through the left leg, stepping the right leg back, hinging the torso forwards, engaging the core, and beginning to lift and lower the right leg. This time, keeping the leg up and pulse, small pulses. Great job coming up to Tadasana, gifting yourself one moment here to reconnect with the breath. And we'll come into a wide-legged stance, heels in, toes out on a diagonal. Raise the arms skywards. Exhale, lower down into a goddess squat, Katakunasana, palms at heart center, beginning to pulse the hips up and down a few centimeters, keeping the knees in line with the ankles, and really using the strength of the outer glutes, the outer hips, the abductors to help open those knees. Staying low, coming into an eagle bind, crossing the left arm over the right, maybe finding a double bind, and raising that right heel up off the mat. Continuing on with these pulses. This is a great way to strengthen the arch of the foot as well as the ankle and the calf muscle. Gently release, keep the hips down, one breath here. And take eagle arms on the other side, and this time raising the left heel. Small pulses. This is also a beautiful way to tone the inner thighs, which are often a secondary muscle that can prove a little bit difficult to reach. So come back to this movement as often as you like. One more breath. Gently release, raise the arms, raise the legs. Heel toe the feet together slightly. Heels in, toes out. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, Malasana, Garland's pose. Pressing the triceps into the inner thighs to help open the knees, open the hips. Keeping the pelvis active, and we'll again come into a low Shiva Squat. Back to Malasana. Shiva Squat on the other side, moving with intention here, doing your best to keep the pelvis low the entire time. Breathe. Keep that torso elevated. This could be a great opportunity to invite a smile onto the lips. You can do this. Channel your inner courage, your inner strength. Last few. And we'll meet in Malasana. Well done. Stretch it out. From here, placing the palms down on the earth, extending the legs, wide-legged forward bend. Perhaps grabbing onto the outer edge of the ankles. Feeling a beautiful release for the entire back body. Softening the neck. Letting go. You might like to interlace your fingers behind your back, guiding the bind overhead towards the earth. Feeling a beautiful release for the upper back, the shoulders. Release the bind, bend the knees, Malasana. Breathe. Squeeze the glutes. Inhale, come up to a standing position. Returning to Tadasana, connecting to the breath. From here, grabbing the blocks. This is our last strengthening exercise for today. Placing the blocks down underneath the shoulders, playing around with the height that suits you. We are going to start in Tadasana. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Place the palms on the blocks. Engage the core, flat back. Raise the left leg. Bend the knees. Guide the left knee behind the right calf. Re-extend to supported warrior, just like this. Again, another variation of a Shiva Squat. Transitioning between Shiva and Virabhadrasana. Doing your best to keep the hips squared. Really turning on the glutes and the hamstrings every time you extend that left leg. And this time keep the left leg extended in Warrior 3. Breathe. Gently release. Well done. And we'll go on the other side. Right leg up. Bending the knees. Guiding the right knee behind the left calf. And re-extend a few more times. If you're up for a challenge, you're more than welcome to keep the palms together at heart center, really working on upper back strength. Softening the facial muscles. Last few, keep that leg up and hold. Breathe. Gently release. Well done. Forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And again, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Once more. And when you're ready, rolling up to Tadasana, head coming up last. We'll close practice today in Tadasana. Gifting yourself a moment to recognize your strength for showing up here today to nourish the mind, the body, and the soul. Namaste.